Good morning, teachers. A very warm welcome. I, Akriti, and my co-host Nirza welcome you all in today's two-day training of Gurushala. In today's training, we'll talk about how we can explore ICT tools to enhance our communication skills. Before we begin, we'll talk about Gurushala a little. Gurushala is an initiative of Vodafone Idea Foundation, Indus Towers Limited. Our content partner is Jigyasa and it is being implemented by Pratham Education Foundation. Before we begin into the training, I would request Munazza to tell us some things that we need to keep in mind.
Right, Akriti. Good morning to all the teachers of Jai Shankar Bhupapalli. So now we will take a look at the important things that you need to keep in mind before we move ahead in the training. First of all, please keep a notebook and a pen with you so that you can make notes of any ideas and questions that you find interesting during the training. The second is that you can talk to us through the comment section. You can type your questions, answers, and ideas in the comment section on the right hand side in English or in Hindi language. You can also sign up on Gurushala at gurushala.co to receive regular updates on trainings, workshops, and competitions. Now, by the end of the training, you will receive a certificate of participation. After filling an attendance form, the link of the attendance form will be shared with you tomorrow by the end of the training. And after filling that form, you will be receiving the certificate on your email ID in 7 to 10 working days. Now, I would like to request my co host Akriti to talk about the training agenda for today's training.
So, teachers, let's talk about the training agenda for the day one. So, first, today we'll talk about what is the present classroom scenario and the challenges and the learnings of it. Then, we'll talk about what are learning gaps and what are the ways to identify them and what are the strategies that we can apply in the classroom to bridge those learning gaps. Then in the ahead in the training, we'll talk about Gurushala and we'll visit the Gurushala platform and see the course module section. Then we'll talk about integrating technology into classrooms and we'll talk about the ICT tools. Then in the end, we'll talk about the day one task. So let's move ahead and see. I would request Munazza to change the slide. So teachers during the training will also participate in some activities. So first activity would be guess the answers, passive singer first, or audience poll. So I would request teachers to participate in the same with full enthusiasm, and you will get only 1 minute for the same. So, आपके whatever all answers and all you have, you can share it in the chat section. So let's see, teachers, what is the first activity for today? The first activity is guess the answer. And you have two riddles in front of you. I would request all the teachers to participate with us. And for participation, you'll get only 1 minute. And you have to share your answers with us in the comment section. So first riddle is what has to be broken before you can use it. So I'll repeat it again. First riddle is what has to be broken before you can use it. Second riddle is what is full of holes but still holds water. So teachers, your time starts now and we can begin the timer and I would request you all to share your answers with us in the chat section. So teachers, I would request you can share your riddles, answers to the riddles in the comment section with us, chat section. You can share it in Hindi, English, or whatever language you're comfortable or express language.
The riddles are very interesting, Akriti, and let's see how many teachers give us the answers for this riddle. So, the first riddle is what has to be broken before you can use it, and the second is what is full of holes but still holds water.
So teachers, I would request you all to hurry up and share your answers with us in the chat section. If you have any problem in understanding the riddle, let us know. So I'll repeat the riddle again. What has to be broken before you can use it? And the second riddle is what is full of holes but still holds water? So teachers, I would request you all to share your answers with us. So As you can see, Manasa, we are already getting the answers. The teachers have started sharing in the comments. Anita Prem is saying that it's an egg. So Janya Bhatini ma'am is also saying an egg. So we can see and move ahead and see what is the answer to these riddles.
Right.
So congratulations to the teachers. The correct answer for the first riddle is the an egg, and for second was a sponge. So Anita Prem ma'am has also said that it's in sponge. So congratulations ma'am for the correct answer. So like this, only teachers will have one more training, one more activity during the training. I would request you all to participate with full enthusiasm. So now we'll talk about the present classroom scenario. So I would request Munazza to take it.
Right. So, as we know that the scenario in today's classroom have completely changed due to COVID. Earlier, the classrooms used to take place in a traditional manner, where the children used to go to the schools. But then, due to the pandemic, there was a sudden shift from the physical classrooms to the online classrooms, and that sudden shift was a little disturbing for all the students. But then, later on, gradually, all the students and the teachers adjusted to it. But now, as we talk about the current scenario, we have seen that schools have started reopening in most parts of the country, and now the students have started going to schools as well. Uh, but there is also an important thing to understand that once there is a shift back from the online to the offline mode of teaching, it is bound to happen that there are some challenges that the teachers and the students might face. So in today's training, we will now focus on the challenges that are very much prominent in the lives of the students right now. So the first challenge is increased academic gap. Now, when we talk about shifting the scenario, pandemic was not very kind to us, and it definitely impacted the academic levels, the learning levels of the students to a larger extent, due to which the gap in the academic structure has had a greater impact in the students' learnings. This needs to be combated so that the students do not face the challenge in the coming years. Also, there is an uncertainty of academic impact. Now, when we talk about uncertainty, it simply means that many students, since every student has their own learning styles, every student learn at their own pace. So there is an uncertainty in the impact of the academic gap. That what exactly, how can it impact different students at different points. So maybe for some students the academic gap was not much, but maybe for some other students who earlier did not have access to resources, it may be much more than those who had access to the resources. So many students also lagged in the academic due to a lack of resources. uh, that was also one of the major challenges which the students faced, and also many of the teachers also faced. The third point is impact on interpersonal relationship and behavior. Now, when the scenario completely changed, when the students started taking classes online, and now they have come back to the schools. There is also, we see, there is a huge impact on the interpersonal relationship. The students were talking to the teachers in completely virtual manner, and many students were only talking to their teachers through the medium of WhatsApp. So that also impacted the interpersonal relationship between the students and the teachers, and it has also impacted the behavior of the students. So we also got to know from most of the teachers who are associated with us. They talked about the challenges that they are currently facing, and this is one of the major challenges that they are facing. So it would take a lot of time to bring the students back to the classroom mentally and emotionally as well, not just physically. So this is a major challenge, and the teachers definitely have to work on the behavioral aspect of the students, so that they understand the current scenario, and they start attending the school with the utmost rigor and enthusiasm. And the The fourth point is the accessibility of resources. So as we talked about earlier as well, that the increased academic gap and the accessibility of resources are proportionate in nature. So when there was less accessibility of resources, when there was a scarce of resources, it also impacted the academic gap of the students. It could easily be seen that those students who are not able to access technology at such time, and they are not able to access the resources that they were provided with, it led to the academic gap, because students themselves cannot learn so much as they can with the help of the teachers. So these were some of the major challenges that the teachers and the students are facing in the current scenario. If all the teachers, you can also share with us your challenges that you are facing in your classrooms in the comment section, and we would be happy to know about it. We would definitely talk about it and discuss in detail about the same. Now, when we talk about the challenges, there were also ways to mitigate those challenges, the learnings that came out from those challenges, and how the teachers can combat those challenges. So the first point is assistive online teaching. Now, when we talk about assistive online teaching, it simply goes to the idea of hybrid model of teaching, where the students are coming to the classrooms, but they are also getting some assistance through the online teaching methods. So this will definitely reduce the academic gaps that have come up. This will help the children in clearing their doubts, and uh, the transition would be little easier from for the students, because suddenly there was a sudden shift from traditional to online, and now there is a sudden shift from online to physical. So there has to be a proper transition, a smooth transition, so that the students get to see the best of both the worlds, of online as well as offline, and then slowly and gradually they then move on to the proper offline mode of teaching. The second learnings from these challenges is exploring innovative ways of learning. So, during the pandemic, we have seen that since the schools completely shifted to the online mode, many teachers made use of technology, integrated technology into their classrooms, and created content through that technology. They also created some worksheets, or sent information through WhatsApp. So methods that were never explored before, they were used to bring some newness in the content, to bring some newness in the ways of learnings, and this has definitely impacted the students in a positive way. So even now, if we explore different ways of learnings, then it would be wonderful for the students, and it would definitely reduce the gaps that have come up. So teachers can explore different ways through which they can teach the students. It could be we will definitely talk about the strategies in the upcoming slide, but just to give a brief idea, the teachers can use videos, can use some group activities, or also or can also use some presentations in teaching the students, so that their learnings are enhanced. And the teachers can also use experiential learning, where the theory part is complemented with the practical part. The third learnings from the challenge is resource and time management. So it's very important that when we have a lot of resources, it's also important to manage those resources and use the right resources at the right time. Time management is also very important, because now we see that schools have reopened a few days back in many areas, and in many places the schools are yet to open as well. So there is a gradual opening of schools that is going on, and soon enough the final exams of the student would come up. So in this, when we talk about this, it's important to manage the time as well, so that the syllabus of the students could be covered properly, so that enough resources are provided to the students, that can aid in their learnings in a proper way. So these are some of the learnings that have come up from the challenges, and it would be wonderful for the teachers if they can use these learnings from the challenges into and integrate it into their classroom teaching. Now,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I was just saying that Manasa, that you have really explained what all the challenges were and what all the learnings we had during the pandemic, and when we shifted to the online structure. So now teachers will talk about what is the what are the steps to identify the learning styles. So let's talk about that. So, what is the first step? The first step is the need assessment. So, we need to understand what is the need and what is the learning level of the child or the student that we have in classroom. So, for that, teachers can take flexible assessments or tests to identify that what where the student is at or the level learning level of the student is. So, we so that students also know what are the levels, and also the teachers understand whether what they are teaching and students are able to understand and grasp in the classroom. Then we'll talk about the learning style. Second is, then once we know the what is the need of the child and what is the learning level, we can identify diverse learners. So there are, since we know there are different kind of learners, some are the book learners, some are audiovisual learners, and some are physical learners. Like Manaza explained, some are, some students are like those who understand better when they are when they are in a experiential learning environment. So we can identify different kind of learners, and then we can divide them into diverse group, which is the third learning style, which is categorizing them into groups. So once we have understood the need, and then we can divide the diverse learners in the groups, and then categorize them into different groups. Then we'll talk about different teaching strategies. So accordingly, once we have categorized them into different groups, we have to use different kind of strategies, so that since we know that every student has a different need and learning level, on the basis of that, different kind of strategies can be applied, which we'll talk about later as well in the training. Then the fifth step is to identify the resource sharing. Similarly, different kind of resources should be shared with the students in the classroom. For example, if we talk about for a physical learning learner, we can take them into the outside the classroom in the field, and we can explain them things that they understand in the environment, and they can relate with. That will help them in boosting their knowledge and as well as the grasping power. The last step is to in the step to in identifying the learning styles is the effortless two-way communication, which is really important part, because in this we are doing active listening and active learning. In this, the students are able to communicate and also able to share or give feedback to the teacher, what they are able to understand and what they are not able to understand. And it is very important that this whole cycle of communication happens, and it is very and should be very effortless. In By effortless, what we mean is the student should be able to keep their point as well, whether they are able to understand or where they are facing issues and what problems they are facing. So let's move ahead and we'll talk about what is so let's now talk about what are the learning gaps. We'll talk about different kind of learning gaps. So first we need to know what is learning gap. So if I have to define what is learning gap is a discrepancy or a gap between a student, between what a student has learned and what a student was expected to learn by a specific point in their education. In a way, the quality of learning that you should be happening is not happening. That is why there is an increased academic gap and learning gap in students. When we, like Naza told us that when we move to the online learning platforms, students had very limited access to resources. Some had mobile phones, some did not have mobile phones, some had internet. There was no somewhere there were no networks only for the internet. So there were, and due to which these factors cause a lot of learning gap. So we'll move ahead and learn a little bit more about the learning gap. So I would request Maniza to take it forward.
Right, Akriti. Thank you so much for explaining the learning styles in a perfect manner for the teachers. Just a little cue before we move ahead. It's important to identify the learning styles of the students in order to in order to make their learning much more effective. So as we discussed earlier, as Akriti also shared, that students have different ways of learnings. They have different styles of learnings. So some are good through some learn through the book method, so they just read the theory part and they understand it better. Some students learn through visualization, like using of audio visuals, like videos and audios. Some students use practical methods to learn about a particular topic. So there are different ways of learnings for the students, and it is definitely important to identify the learning styles of the students, so that the teachers can contribute to a much greater extent in the learnings of the students. So this is why it's important to understand that what are the steps that are there when we identify the learnings or the learning styles of the students. And now, moving ahead to the learning gaps that have arisen, we will now talk about the types of learning gaps that are there. So the first learning gap is the knowledge gap. Now, when we talk about knowledge gap, it simply means that students do not know or are not aware of the right information. So it could be due to various factors. It could be that they were not much interested in the classroom, or it could be that maybe they misunderstood the information, or maybe that they misread it. Like there was some kind of miscommunication that happened, due to which the child was not able to absorb the right information, or the child learned through a platform. Maybe he found some information on the internet that was not correct, and that has led to the knowledge gap in the student. So this is the first type of the learning gaps that can be seen in students. The second gap is the skills gap. Now, when we talk about skills gap, it simply means that students do not have the necessary practice to develop common skills. Now, when we talk about practice, it simply means that so it's important to develop any kind of skills. It's important that a child practices it well. We also talk about, when we talk about maths or science, we always say that practice makes a man perfect. So when the child is not able to practice well, or he's not or he does not want to do it, he has not practiced enough, then that skill takes time to develop. And when that skill takes time to develop, it impacts the skill set of the students, and then leads to the skill gaps in the students. The third is the motivation gap. Now, the motivation gap is simply that the student is not interested in the learnings, in the knowledge that has been provided to him. He does not show interest in the classroom. He lacks the motivation to come to the classroom, to attend the classes, to show interest in the classroom. It can also have various reasons why the child is not motivated. Maybe if we talk about an 11th class student, if he is not interested in the classroom, maybe he does not like the subject that he's being taught. If we talk about the younger students as well, maybe they are more interested into sports. That's why there is no motivation in learning more about other subjects. Um, it could also be that the environment at his home is not such which motivates the learnings and the education. So that also impacts the motivation levels of the students. The fourth type of learning gaps is environmental gap. When we talk about environmental gap, it simply means that the environment that the student is in is not appropriate for learning. So maybe it could be possible that a child is learning from home during the online class, but the situation at his home is not such that he can give 100% of his attention to the knowledge, to the education that is being given to him. Or if you're talking about the school environment, then maybe he is in a group of friends that do not promote education in a better way. So that would also impact the learning levels of the students, because the environment in which the student is in is not very complementary to what the student should do. So that this gap also leads to the lack of students' attention into the classroom. And the fifth learning gap is the communication gap. So this is the gap that the students experience in communication. They're not able to communicate their problems to the teachers. So that is why we talked about the two-way communication when we talked about the learning styles. That it's important to have two-way communication with the child, so that the child is also able to express his views, and the teacher is also able to tell the child on what went wrong, on what went right. So when there is a lot of communication gap, this also leads to a larger learning gaps. Uh, Now, it's also important to understand that in one child there could be more than one learning gaps present in the child's minds. So, the child can have knowledge gap, motivation gap, and also environmental gap. And all these gaps are very interrelated. So we can have one without the other, and it's so interrelated that we can have two or in a combination of two or three gaps as well. So it's important to understand that what exactly is the root cause of the learning gap. Is it the lack of motivation that the child has, or maybe the child is very motivated? Maybe there is no problem of motivation. Maybe the child wants to learn, but maybe the environment that he's living in is not such that promotes learning, or maybe he is motivated but he is not getting the right information. So that is also something that we need to keep in mind. And Once we identify the learning gaps that are there in the students, only then we can take the right steps and the right strategies to ensure that the learnings that we are giving to the student, the knowledge that we are giving to the student, is utilized to 100% of its capacity, and the child is able to learn properly through these learning gaps. So there are various strategies that the students can use, that the teachers can use for the students to minimize these learning gaps, and to build a way of communication through which the child also understands the shortcomings um, that is very much prevalent there, and he can accordingly work on that. So now Akriti will tell us more about the effective classroom teaching strategies that the teachers can use in their classrooms.
Correct, Minaza. Before we begin to the teaching strategies, I would request teachers to share their experiences with us in the chat section. They can tell us what all experiences they have had till yet, the challenges or the learnings, or the strategies they have been using to bridge this learning gap that we have build up within this 2 year period. So like Manaza said, there are various kind of learning gaps like knowledge gap, skill gap, motivation gap, environment and communication gap. So now let's talk about what are the ways to bridge these kind of gaps. So we'll talk about few strategies as you can see on the screen. First, we'll talk about what is visualization. So first, we'll talk about this strategy. In this strategy, what we have, what I think I'm sure all the teachers already doing this. So this first strategy is bringing dull academic concepts to life with visual and practical learning experiences, which will also help your student to understand how this school applies in the real world. So in short, if I have to explain, we have to uh, we have to take students. You have to show students some interactive photos, audio clips, or videos, and make the the classroom and the concept that you are teaching a little more interactive, so that they are able to understand, and we are also able to understand what students are being grasping. So this is the first strategy that we can use in the classrooms. Next strategy is cooperative learning. So in cooperative learning, what we have to do is, we talked about the learning styles. We spoke about what there are different kind of learners, and we have to divide them into different groups. So what we have to do in this, we have to encourage students of mixed abilities to work together, by promoting the small groups or whole class in the activity. So in this, we'll do is we make them collaborate and work together of mixed ability, so that if a student is performing a little average in classroom and is of a low capability, and is unable to understand what is happening in the classroom because of whatever reasons, uh, and we can collaborate that student with another student who is very much in motivational, and is doing good in the studies. So what will happen is that students will share their ideas, and will collaborate, and both of them will able to develop a self confidence in themselves, and able to understand what is the other person's perspective. This will help the average student in excelling in classrooms. So, and what all activities, if I have to talk, you can do in this, you can give them some kind of mathematical puzzles, or conduct. We can also give them some experiments to conduct if you're teaching a science subject in the classroom. So now let's talk about the third strategy, which is inquiry based instruction. Inquiry based learning. So in this, what you have to do is we so you have to give students thought-provoking questions in the class, which will make them use their critical thinking skill, which will help them. If I talk about current present scenario, what we do is whatever thing we find very hard, what we do is we just Google it. So we really hardly take out time to brainstorm about it or think about it. So this is personally what I also do. I start whatever I find very hard, I don't put my mind to it, or I don't try to rationalize and come to a consensus. I just directly go to Google and try to find an answer. But no, this should not be the pattern. This will really not help us in long term. So similarly, what you can do in the class, you can tell students to give students some kind of question that will help them think, that will improve their critical thinking and creative thinking, so creativity skills as well. So we can do that in the classroom. We can give them in some kind of test, or MCQ and objective or subjective sort of, which will help them um, improve their inquiry based learning. Now we'll talk about differentiation. Like we talked about that, we'll differentiate, we'll divide students in diverse groups. So like likely only what we can do is differentiate our teaching methods accordingly. So we can use different kind of strategies for the different learners and groups, and then we should make and we should do this so that no students, no student should get left behind, and every student should learn according to their capability. So we can apply this kind of strategy in or activities in the classroom. So we can give them some kind of worksheets or quizzes. So I would request Munazza to talk about the um, further strategies that you can use in the classroom.
Right, Akriti. So now we will be talking about other strategies that that the teachers can use in their classrooms. Akriti has very well explained the four strategies that the teachers can use, and we will talk about another four of the strategies, which the teachers, which can prove to be very helpful for the teachers. So the first strategy is to introduce technology into classrooms. Now this is a strategy that has been using that has been in use for the last 1 year or 2 years due to the pandemic. But now as we move ahead, even if we move to a completely offline setup, it is definitely important to include technology into the classrooms. A major reason for this is that the students have developed a habit of using technology into their classrooms due to the online learning methods. And now if the teachers continue with the same practice, it would be very helpful for the students in learning the information. So internet, as we know, opens the doors to a lot of possibilities and to a lot of information. So when the students get the right kind of information through the right platform, it can aid wonderfully in their learnings. So teachers can use technology into their classrooms through different ways. It could be through the use of showing videos to the teacher, to the students, some content which the teachers can share through their Google Classroom, or the links. Teachers can share links of some quizzes to the students. So what teachers can do is that they have explained a topic to the students. For example, let's talk about metals and non-metals. So if a teacher is teaching chemistry, and she has taught the students about metals and non-metals, then the teachers can then give a quiz to the students. So the teachers can share the link of a ready-made quiz with the students. The teachers can also create a quiz with the students. Or the third thing which the teachers can do is divide the students into groups and ask them to use the technology to create some quizzes for their groups, like for other groups. So one group can create a quiz and then share it with other groups, and then these kind of activities can happen in the classrooms. Talking about technology, Gurushala platform also has a lot of content that the teachers can make use of in their classroom teaching. Gurushala has a lot of has a wide range of content library that they can use when they teach the students, and there is a lot of relevant material that the teachers can use. We will talk in more detail when we go to the Gurushala website and explore the content library section. Yes, these are the various ways through which the teachers can integrate technology into their classrooms. And I think there is, just because the students have shifted to the offline mode, it does not mean that the students will stop using the technology. They will still use the technology. And many students earlier also did when. And many students also earlier did when some project work was given to them, but then there was no hand holding to them. They were just given the info, they were just given a topic, and they were asked to research more about that topic and then create the project, work on their own. But now, as the times are changing, and technology is everywhere around us, the teachers can definitely bring in some game based applications, or bring in some content through the internet that they can utilize in their classrooms. The second, the sixth strategy is the behavior management strategy. Now, when we talk about behavior management, we know that teachers and like all of us, we would not like a classroom that is noisy, that is undisciplined in nature. So for that, it is very important to manage the behavior of the students. Students Some of the students can create a ruckus in the classrooms, and it's important to understand that such an environment in the classroom would not aid into the learnings. And as we talked about the gaps in the learnings of the students, it could also be because the class is very noisy, and many students are not able to concentrate properly in their classrooms. So when we talk about behavior management, there are various techniques that the teachers can use when they teach the students. So teachers can introduce the concept of reward charts into their classrooms. Um they can do fun interactive activities with the students, and they can then give rewards to the students. Now, rewards don't have to be material in nature. It does not have to be a toffee or a chocolate or some gift. It has to be, it could be some moral ways, like it could be compliments that the teachers give to the teachers, or recognition that the teachers give to the students who have performed well. So what the teachers can do is that they introduce a system where they choose the most disciplined child in first week of the classroom, in 1 week of the classroom. So if one of the child in one of the if one of the children has received that recognition in his classroom, then it would motivate the other students also to perform well and to do well in their discipline. um, Teachers can also introduce a golden time in their classrooms. Now, when we talk about golden time, it simply means that it could be an hour or half an hour where the students involve only in play-based activities, or only in activities that they like. So teachers can give 30 to 45 minutes to all the students, and they can ask all the students to do what they want to do in a quiet and peaceful manner. So that does not have to disturb the whole classroom. That does not have to that does not have to disturb the decorum of the classroom. But it has to be done in a manner where the classroom is quiet and all the students are sitting properly. But then the students are involved in their own activity, something that they want to do. So some students may want to paint something, some students want to go out and play, many students would like to create their own scrapbook, do some activities, paste some pictures, color do some drawings. So all students have their own ways of interests. So a golden time, if the teachers give a short period of golden time, and it does not have to be every day, it could be once a week, it could be once in 14 days. This can also impact the learning levels of the students in a positive way, because then they would come back to the classroom with much more energy. They would be energized, they would be more there would be a lot of enthusiasm, and the students can also wait for that golden time to come, that golden period that the teachers can call it. So this is one of the strategies that the teachers can use in the classrooms. Now, the other strategy, the seventh strategy, is the professional development strategy. Now, a professional development is not only for students, it's also for the teachers, as we see that our policies keep on enhancing. There is always, some more information that has been added to the policy. Let's take an example of the NEP, the National Education Policy of 2020. So when the pandemic hit, when we saw, there is so much of change that has been coming around in the education system. uh, there we also saw that the policy, the national education policy, also changed to a great extent. Many concepts were introduced in the policy that were not there before. Many new things came up, and there was a lot of relaxation that was also given in terms of the learnings of the students, and in terms of the years that the students can give to their classrooms and to the vocational courses. So when such policies come up, they have a greater impact in the education system because they are directly from the government. So when we talk about professional development, it's important that the teachers develop their skills in a continuous manner. They read about the policies, they attend trainings that give information about such policies, so that the skills of the teachers are also enhanced, and the teachers learn through different ways. Um, in how to integrate different things into their classroom teaching. I'm sure all the teachers who are part of this training, and all the teachers worldwide, are teachers because they are very good at it, and no one can take their places. Teachers do know their job. They do know that what works best for their students. But then learning never ends, neither for the student nor for the teacher, and neither for anyone else as well. So the it's important for the teachers to keep building on their skills, so that they can keep improving, keep improvising themselves, and keep keep themselves flexible also according to the scenario. So many of our most of our teachers, like, in fact all the teachers, completely changed the way of their teaching due to the pandemic. And now they are coming back to maybe a hybrid model where many teachers would introduce the use of technology and the use of online teaching along with the offline teaching. So all these things require some development and some enhancement of skills. And it would be important, it would be really great if the teachers also develop such skills in themselves. uh, every quarter, maybe every 6 months, or maybe every year. Totally depends on the timings of the teachers that they can give to the development. And the last strategy that we would talk about is the 10 is to 2 strategy. Now, the 10 is to 2 strategy is simply divides the time of the classroom. Uh, it has been noticed, and it has also been proven psychologically, that the attention span of the students is not very much. They cannot hold their attention for one long hour or half an hour. They would keep getting distracted in between, again and again, for some or the other reason. So the 10 is to 2 strategy takes this in mind, and gives 10 minutes of teaching to the students, and then 2 minutes of break. Then again 10 minutes of teaching and 2 minutes of break. So this enhances the so this makes sure that the students are learning properly, and their attention span is not running low. So the students can simply the teachers can take a class for 10 minutes and then give a 2 minutes break. So in that 2 minutes break, the students can reflect on what they have learned in that 10 minutes, or can also divert their mind somewhere and then come back again to the classroom uh, once that 2 minute time is over. So when we talk about having a 2 minute break, it does not mean that the students have to go out of the classroom. They can keep sitting in the classroom and just take a 2 minute break. Maybe they can just close their eyes, meditate for 2 minutes, or they can simply reflect on what they have learned, and then come back to the classroom mentally. So this is also one of the best strategies that the teachers can use in their classrooms. So all these strategies definitely will aid in the learning of the students, because there is so much of learning gaps that have come up, and there is a lot of things that are going on in the classrooms as well. Now, when the students are coming back, so they would also, take some time to adjust to the normal routine that they will now have to follow. Um, so now, as we talked about the Gurushala website, and we talked about how you can get different kinds of content in the Gurushala platform. I would now like to request my co-host Akriti to take you all to the Gurushala website, where you can explore all the sections. So we will explore the content library section, and we would also explore the course module section of the Gurushala website. Akriti, over to you.
Yes, Manaza. First of all, before we begin to the Gurushala platform, I would just say that you very well explained all the strategies. So, just one pointer that I wanted to share with teachers, you can also, use the combination of two to three and more strategies in your classroom. So, it will help the students for a better learning and understanding their academic concepts in a better way. So let's move ahead, teachers, and we'll visit Gurushala today, Gurushala website today. So I'll just share my screen. I would request you all to let us know in the comments if my screen is visible to you. I would request Manaza to let me know that if my screen is
Yes.
visible.
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Okay, okay, teachers. So let's begin. As you can see on my screen, this is Gurushala website. To visit Gurushala, you have to just type Gurushala, Gurushala.co on your browser in Google, and then the whatever the first link is, you have to click on it, and then you will be able to visit on the Gurushala homepage. So this is the homepage. Before we begin, you have to sign up. As you can see on the right side, on the top corner, there is an option to sign in or sign up on Gurushala. To sign in and sign up on Gurushala, there are many ways you can do that. First is you can sign in sign up from Facebook. Which you can use your Facebook ID password to do the same. You can also do from your Gmail ID or from your Google. Otherwise, you can also type in your mobile number here. And for example, if you see, we can type their mobile number and your password here. Then we can log in. But today I'll be using my Google and Gmail ID to log in on Gurushala. So, as you can see, teachers, I have already logged in into Gurushala from my Gmail ID. So now, as discussed, we'll take you through the Gurushala course module section. But before we begin, I want to show all the aspects of Gurushala that you can explore. So first, you can see on the homepage that there is a course module section which we'll visit today later, and also content library which we can, we'll be, viewing today. So next is Gurushala Academy, which you can, and which your students can enroll and learn various academic revision concepts. They can attend the classes and learn whatever is happening in the classes already, and also get the guidance from the experts. Then you can see there is quiz for students. So we already have the ready-made quizzes on our platform and games for students, but on different subjects and classrooms. So you can share the links of the same with the students. We have staff room where you can interact and network with your teachers and ask some questions and queries that you have. So this is some of the aspects that we have on Gurushala. Let's go, visit the course module section. So I would request Manazal to tell me if you are able to view the screen properly.
Yes, Akriti, it is visible.
Okay. Do I need to zoom in a little bit?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay. Teachers, let us know if you have any queries about Gurushala. We'll address them. So as you can see, I clicked on Gurushala course module section. So this is the course module section. You can see there are many filters in the next on the left side of the page. So you can put a filter using the subject, which is like you can use 21st century teachers filter, or you can use a content resource creation, or you can apply the innovative teaching strategies filter, or student learning plans and student courses. There are various courses in the categories. You can also apply filter using the duration. If you want to you do a course which is of less duration, then you can go for less than 1 hour. If you want to do a course which is of 1 to 2 hours, you can apply the same. And There are also some popular topics that you can apply and shortlist the courses that you would like to do. So today, as we were talking of, we'll be talking about ICT tools and also communication. So let's do this. We'll visit a course module section. Uh, Visit a course which is on ICT tools. So I'll apply a filter here on content resource creation. So since we use technology in creating the content to present in the classroom, so you can see there are many courses that are available under resource creation. So we can see there is tool for assessment creation, video customization and creation, use of multimedia, content curation, application of ICT tools, and connecting technology with pedagogy. And there are many more which you can use in the classroom to help yourself, and as well as the same strategies can be applied in your classrooms. So let's visit the application of ICT tools today, since we'll be talking about that. As you can see on the screen, this is the application of ICT tools course on course module. So to begin with that, you have to first sign in, sign up. As discussed, you have to click on the top right section of Gurushala and click on the sign in, sign up part. Then we can see you will have to visit the course module section and come to the ICT tools course module. So to begin with the course module, you have to first enroll for free. Click on this enroll for free. So once you have enrolled here for free, you can see the pop-up will come, which will tell you that you have got 10 points, which says that you have already enrolled in this course. So after clicking on the OK, you can see you have details provided here, which shows what you will be learning from this ICT tool course module, and what all skills are covered in this module, and what all will be the content in the course module section. So we can see in this course module there are various parts you can cover. First is introduction of application of ICT tools. Then there is a questionnaire. Then we'll go to the another component, which is understanding the application of ICT tools in your classroom. Then there are few infographic and the games that you can use in the classroom. Then there is a questionnaire to assess what you have understood from this course module. And there are also some additional web resources that are given for your understanding. So let's see. We'll see today this one video that is mentioned in the course module. Before we begin, I would request Munazza to tell me if she can hear the video.
Yes, 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 Akshati.
You are able to hear the audio.
Meet Miss Sudha. She's a very
Are you able to hear the audio?
energetic mathematics teacher at Modern Public
Oh,
School. It seems she is in a discussion with Mr. Karan. Let us see what they are talking about. Miss Sudha, as you know that nowadays ICT based education has become necessary. So I want our school should also take some initiative. Seeing your past performance, I'm giving you this new responsibility.
But sir, we are already using videos and PPT in our classrooms. What else can we do?
I understand your point. However, just using these two tools is not enough. I want you to explore and see how we can engage students, use various devices like mobiles and computers to teach and assess students' performance as well.
Sir, I would need some time to read about it.
No problem. Take your time. And if needed, take Ajay sir's help as well.
Okay, sir.
so teachers, as you saw, this was the first course module section on application of ICT tools, and this is the questionnaire that you can fill up and see what all you have understood from the video. So let's go back to the course module. And so this was the course module that you can do. We'll share the link of the same in the comment section. So now it's time to, yes, Manaza.
Yes, Akriti. So we have a question from one of the teachers. Sir is asking that can we download module in PDF? No, sir, we cannot download the module in PDF. You have to complete the. You can enroll on the website, and then you have to complete the course module, and after that, you will receive a certificate of participation. So, since it is a combination of videos and the questionnaire, so you will have to complete the module on the website, and then after completing the module, you will receive the participation certificate, the certificate of completion.
Correct. So I would request all the teachers to use the course module section to do the skill up and continue their learning on Gurushala. And I would also like to inform these are self-paced interactive modules courses that you can use and are of free of cost for your understanding.
So,
So
Akriti, I just want to know one more thing. That can we view this view Gurushala in different languages?
definitely we can do that. So if we'll let's go to the Gurushala website again. We'll just exit this course module. So teachers, as you can see on my screen, there is an option to view the Gurushala website in English and Hindi. So if if you're comfortable and able to understand English, you can click on the English part only. And if you're not, then you can click on the Hindi option as well. So you can see the whole content is now viewed in the Hindi. So for now, we'll stick to the English part and now we'll visit the content library on Gurushala. For that, you have to just click on the home page. So now let's visit the content library. So you can explore a diverse range of free of cost, free to use curriculum aligned online content resources for your classroom, which you can share with your students as well. So for that, I'll just go to the homepage of Gurushala, and there you can see next to the course module section there is content library. We'll click on that and we'll be able to visit the content library section. So as you can see, there are different kind of contents available. So you can use filter. There are various filters as well which you can apply. First filter is related to the subject that you're teaching in the classroom. So for example, if you're teaching chemistry, if you're teaching economics, you can apply the same filters. If you want a content that is related to the logical reasoning and aptitude for your students, you can apply the same filter in the filter on the content library section. You can also apply the filter according to the classes. So if you're teaching to a first class student, you can apply the class one. Similarly for different classes as well. So we can see there is another filter which is on content type. If you want the animated video content, you can click on the animated video content. You can click on the assessment, or if you want something that is related to theoretical and want students to read a little bit, you can click on the case study part. And also some there are other filters as well, like challenge question, chapter quiz, concept slideshow, ppts, creative learning. So you can apply all of these filters to do the same. And the content is also available in different languages like we said. So it is available in Assamese, English, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Marathi, Oriya, Telugu. So if you're comfortable in Telugu or any other language or English, you can apply the same filters. And similarly, just like we said in the course model section, there is also filter to use the duration part and also media type. So let's visit one of the course module and see. For example, if you're teaching, uh, for example, if you are a English subject teacher, we'll apply the English subject filter here, and then according to class, if you're teaching to the class fifth class, we'll apply the filter. And if you're comfortable in English, we can go with the English content resource that is available on Gurushala. So we'll click on one of the course modules. As you can see, so let's go with the reading comprehension course content library. As you can see, these are the content resources which are freely available on Gurushala. You can see the duration is 14 minutes of this video, and the this is for fifth class students, and the content is of video type. So let's view this resource. To view this resource, you have to just click on this view resource option. By the time, teachers, if you have any other queries related to Gurushala platform, you can share it with us in the comment section. We'll try to address them. So as you can see, view the resource is available here. You have to just click on the view resource,
In
and
this
this is the
lesson, we're
video.
going to think about comprehension, really making sure that your child has a good understanding of the text, really making sure that they understand that the words that they're reading and that they can start to put this whole package of reading together. So we're going to look at a text that's slightly too advanced for Aaron, but what I'm really testing in this text is not the reading skills, not the decoding skills, it's actually those comprehension skills, and that's what we really want to focus on. It is no point, there is no point in getting your child to read a text.
So this was the content that was available in English. Let's visit to the content that is available in Telugu. For that, what I'll do is I'll just reverse the page. I'll go back to the page on content library, and I'll use the filters to apply the Telugu language content that is available. We'll visit to the language part and we'll click on Telugu. So you can see here many resources are available which are in Telugu. So let's visit the punctuation marks content that is available. You can see this is a 9-minute video that is available and and can be used in your classroom. So which you can use to the students. So let's view this resource.
ఈ రోజు వీడియోలో మనం పంక్చువేషన్ మార్క్స్ గురించి నేర్చుకుందాం. పంక్చువేషన్ మార్క్స్ మనం ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తామంటే ఏదైనా లాంగ్ సెంటెన్స్ ని మీనింగ్ఫుల్ గా బ్రేక్ చేయడానికి ఈ పంక్చువేషన్ మార్క్స్ ని మనం యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ సెంటెన్స్ లో క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేయాలో ఇప్పుడు మనం తెలుసుకుందాం. ఫస్ట్, a sentence will always begin with a capital letter. సెంటెన్స్ ఎప్పుడు క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ తోనే స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి. ఎగ్జాంపుల్, షీ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు స్కూల్. ఇదొక సెంటెన్స్. సెంటెన్స్ లో స్టార్టింగ్ లెటర్ ఏముంది మనకి? ఎస్ ఉంది. సో ఎస్ అనేది మనం క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ లో రాయాలి, ఎందుకంటే సెంటెన్స్ ఎప్పుడు క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ తోనే స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి కాబట్టి. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ రూల్, ఆల్ ద స్పెషల్ నేమ్స్ will also begin with a capital letter. ఒక సెంటెన్స్ లో ఏవైనా స్పెషల్ నేమ్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, అవి కూడా దాని బిగినింగ్ లెటర్ క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ లో రాయాలి. అది సెకండ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, నిత్య ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు హైదరాబాద్ విత్ రాధా. ఇది ఒక సెంటెన్స్. ఇక్కడ స్పెషల్ నేమ్స్ ఏమున్నాయి? నిత్య, హైదరాబాద్, రాధా, ఇవన్నీ స్పెషల్ నేమ్స్. సో ఇక్కడ నిత్యాలో బిగినింగ్ లెటర్ ఎన్ మనం క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ లో రాయాలి. అలానే హైదరాబాద్ లో బిగినింగ్ లెటర్ ఏంటి? హెచ్. సో హెచ్ కూడా మనం క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ లో రాయాలి. అలానే రాధా, రాధా కూడా ఒక స్పెషల్ నేమ్. సో రాధాలో బిగినింగ్ లెటర్ ఏంటి? ఆర్. సో ఆర్ అనేది కూడా మనం క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ లో రాయాలి. ఇది సెకండ్ రూల్. నెక్స్ట్ రూల్, ద ప్రనౌన్ ఐ ఈస్ రిటన్ ఇన్ ఏ క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ wherever it appears. ఐ అనే ప్రనౌన్ ఎక్కడ కనిపించిన సెంటెన్స్ లో మనం ఐ అనే లెటర్ ని క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ లో రాయాలి. అది థర్డ్ రూల్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్, లత అండ్ ఐ ఆర్ సిస్టర్స్. ఇక్కడ ఐ అనేది మనకి సెంటెన్స్ మిడిల్ లో వచ్చింది, అయినా కూడా ఐ అనే లెటర్ ని మనం క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ లో రాయాలి. ఇది థర్డ్ రూల్. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు మనం ఎక్కడెక్కడ క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ రాయాలి, వేటికి క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ యూజ్ చేయాలో ఒకసారి తెలుసుకుందాం.
So teachers, as you can see, we have courses available, content library available in Telugu language also, which you can visit. So now I'll explain you how you can share this with your students, all the course modules and the content library, how you can just share these resources with your students. So for that, what you have to do is you have to just click on the link that is available in the browser and share the same link with your students. So we'll just share the link with you in the chat section now, for example, and you can share the same with your students. So now let's head back to the training, teachers. This was all about the Gurushala platform. If you have any queries related to that, then you can let us know in the comment section and we'll address them.
We received a few questions from the teachers, Akriti. So before moving ahead, we can take some questions from the teachers. So there was one of the questions that the teachers asked. The benefits of Gurushala. What are the different benefits that the Gurushala platform offers? So as we talked about. Two of the things that are available on Gurushala. One is the content library. There is a wide array of resources that you can use uh, in your classrooms. There is also a lot of course modules that you can use to enhance your own skills. The co- the the content the courses are available in different languages, and also it is available on different subjects. So it is also available on on different skill set, so you can use it accordingly. Then the other thing that the Gurushala platform offers is a quiz section. So you when once you go through the whole platform, once you explore the Gurushala platform, you will see that there is also a platform of a quiz section. I will share. So I would request Akriti to please take us through the platform so that we can just see the offerings in a quick way. So there is also a quiz
Yes.
section. Yeah. So there's also a quiz section that the teachers can use with their students. You can share the link of the quizzes that you like with your students, and they can then you can then take the quizzes on the basis of what they answer here. Then the teachers for the teachers there is also a content where they can publish their own content. So many teachers create some content on their own, and you can definitely post that content over here, so that it is also beneficial for the other teachers. Then as we move forward, you will see that there is also a section of trainings. Yeah, and the teachers, what they can do is that they can also see some other trainings that have happened in the past, and if there is a specific thing which they would like to learn. So there are various webinars that have happened in the past, there are a lot of trainings that have happened in the past, and the teachers can simply go through it and see that what would they like to learn from here. So definitely there is a lot of things that the teachers can do when once they visit the platform. There is also a teacher community which we will talk about later, where the teachers can post some relevant information and share it with the other fellow teachers. Yes. So, okay, Akriti, now we will move ahead to the PPT, and we will move ahead in our training.
Melissa, before we begin, we have a question. Raghu sir is asking us, can we please show him some quiz pages for on Gurushala? So I'll just since we are already on the platform, I'll just show you the quiz section which you can share with students as well. So since this is the home page, all you have to do is go to the scroll down a little bit, and you can see there is quiz for students section on Gurushala, which are already ready-made quizzes that are available for students on different subjects and for different classes as well. So you can see these are the some quizzes that are available. You can see there are triangles, angles. These are all maths quizzes. So if you want to use something that you're teaching in the classroom, for example, you're an history subject teacher, so you have to apply the filter in the subject part. And if you are teaching to the class 8 students, you can apply the filter on same, and then you can see lot of content is available. Quizzes are available that you can share with students. So similarly, if you are teaching science to students, you can put the science filter, and you can, if you're teaching to the 8th class, you can apply the 8th class filter as well. So I'll just open one link with quiz with you. So we can see here is a quiz on sound. So you can see there are some instructions on the quiz that is given for students. I hope my screen is clearly visible to teachers.
Yes, Akriti, it is visible.
Okay, so teachers, as you can see, this is the quiz that you can share it with your students. So there are few instructions that there are total number 12 number of questions that are given. Each correct answer has 1 point, and they will get for each correct answer they'll get one point. So all they have to do is fill in their details like name, class, school name, and answer these questions. These are all MCQ based questions that they have to fill. After they have done, completed the whole quiz or the assessment, what all they have to do is click on the submit, and they'll get an option to view scores. After that is done, what they can do is share their score with you, so you have an understanding how much the child have understood in the class. So this was the course module section. And to share these resources with your students, all you have to do is visit the Gurushala website, click on the quizzes part, and share the same with your students. So this was it. If you have any
Thank
other
you,
queries,
Akriti,
teachers.
for sharing. There is also one more question from a teacher. So, sir is asking that is there any limited time to complete the course modules like Nishtha? So, sir, we would just like to tell you that the courses are completely self-paced in nature. That means that you can complete the courses as per your time. So, even if the course is for 3 hours, you can decide when do you want to start and end the course, and it is also completely free in nature, so you do not have to pay for any of the courses that are available. We will now move ahead in the training, and I will share the PPT once again. So now what we will do is that we will move ahead with an activity, and then we will move ahead to the content. So now there is an activity. There would be a picture that would be shown to you, and you have to find some hidden words in the picture. This is the picture, and you have 1 minute of time. There are 6 words that are hidden in the whole picture, so you have to find those 6 words, and you have to type your answers in the comment section, and you can share it with us. So you have 1 minute of time, and the time has started already. So teachers, start sharing your answers please in the comment section with us.
Correct. So teachers, I would request you to share your answers and participate in this activity with full enthusiasm. So as soon as possible, please share your answers with us in the comments. So yeah.
Let's see, Akriti, that how many teachers can find the right answers, and how many teachers can. So the teachers have started typing their answers. Salim sir has said cake. Then we have also received from Kalyani ma'am balloon. Then party. So colors.
Yes, many teachers are saying balloon and party, I can see.
So teachers, start sharing your answers with us. We have only 30 seconds left.
I would request teachers to tell us all the hidden words that they can see in this image.
Okay, Akriti. So let's see what are the right answers and what are the words that are hidden in the picture. So as we see that there are some words that are hidden. So we have friends over here, balloon. Then there is James. There is cake, party, and gift. So these are the words that have been hidden in the picture. And congratulations to all the teachers who have answered correctly. We will now.
Congratulations, teachers. Yeah.
We will now move ahead in the training, and I would now like to request my co-host Akriti to talk more about ICT. What is ICT, and what does it entails?
Correct. So teachers, as informed to you, we now will talk about what is ICT. So if we have to, the full form of the ICT is Information and Communication Technology. Let's move ahead and study it a little bit in detail. So as we can see on the screen, ICT is a shortening for Information, Communication, and Technology. So ICT is the information. So what we do is do in the ICT is we use the information that is provided to us and we communicate that information through a technology. So that is what we do in ICT. But if we have to define it, it is a broader term for information technology, which is IT. So, ICT refers to all the communication technologies that we're using in the classroom or have been using. For example, the internet, wireless networks, cell phones, mobile phones, computer, softwares, middleware, video conferencing, and social networks. And I'm sure WhatsApp and all other mediums that we have been using, like Zoom or StreamYard or YouTube, and we have been using in the classrooms to to teach students. So, and other media applications and services enabling access to users and to retrieve, store, transmit, manipulate information in a digital form. This is the broader definition of ICT. So let's move ahead and understand what is what are the components of ICT and also what is ICT as per NEP.
Right, Akriti. So, first we will talk about the components of ICT, as Akriti has explained that what exactly ICT is. It's information and communication technology. Basically, various methods, various ways through which we interact with one another, through which we communicate with one another, and pass on the information from one person to the masses. So, we will first take a look at different components of ICT. So ICT basically has around six components. One is people. People people means that the people that would put the information in that would put the information in the system. So these this is what so there are a number of people that are involved with ICT, and they need to supply the right data to the ICT system, so that proper decisions could be taken accordingly. They are the ones who code the information, who make sure that the data is safe, and is in safe hands, and they also ensure that how the data would be managed accordingly. The second component is the software. So when we talk about software, it simply means the Windows or the Apple, the iOS that is there. So that is the software part. Then the hardware. Coming to the hardware, that is the third component of ICT. That basically entails the storage system, mouse, keyboard, basically the hardware part of the systems. It also means the laptop and all the other things that comes in the hardware. Then the fourth aspect of ICT is the procedures that follow. So that it basically means that how it is determined that what needs to be done and when it needs to be done, and how the data and the information would be passed on from one people to to other people. So that whole procedure is taken into account when it comes to the procedure. Then also the fifth component is the data. Now that when we talk about data, it's basically the raw material of any ICT system. The raw material is properly processed in the form of information, and then it is provided to the other people. And the sixth component of it is the information. So data is the raw material, and information is the proper processed information that comes to the users. It is basically once the data has been processed properly, then it forms the information. It's also the output of the ICT system. So the people enters the information, and then what we see on the screen is the output, the information that comes out. So for example, if a person has entered some information about a particular place, so how that information would reach to us, what keywords would we need to type in so that we see that kind of information. That is the back end part, that is the data part, that is the raw part. And that also includes the other, like the procedures that we talked about. So what kind of procedure would be followed once the person enters the information, and how it will come to our screen. That is a proper procedure that is followed. So these are different components of the ICT system. Now, it is also important to know that ICT holds a very important part in the NEP. The NEP is the National Education Policy of 2020, and it strongly emphasizes on the use of technology in education. Uh, Now, there are various e-courses that have been developed in certain regional languages, which the teachers can complete as per their own at their own pace. there is a lot of content, digital content that has been developed in different languages. Now, when we talk about developing content, we talk about developing courses. It it basically goes through the whole process of information and technology and communication technology. This is how the information reaches to us through the medium of technology. That is how we can also send the information to the students. This is basically a very important part, and it uh, as the times have also changed from the traditional way to the online way of classroom teaching. uh, the ICT holds a very important part in this, and various educational institutes and research centers have also developed some of the effective methods for the teachers, so that they can introduce ICT in their classrooms and benefit the students accordingly. Now we will take a look and we will understand how ICT is so important in education, and what are the different tools that are there in the education ICT.
Correct, Munazal. Before we begin, I we have a question. So Raghu sir is asking if there is any Gurushala app. So I just wanted to tell you all the teachers that there is a Gurushala app which is available on Google Play Store. We'll share the link of the same in the comment section, which you can then you can access the Gurushala app for various content available. So let's begin and talk about ICT in education. As you can see, teachers on the screen, there are three kind of tools that are available, which are available in ICT while applying the ICT in education. First is informative tool, second is communicative tool, third is collaborative tool. So, to explain the informative tool in detail, it is the application that provides large amount of information which is available in various formats such as text, graphics, sounds, or videos. For example, there is huge information, raw information that is provided, that is available to us. But when we use that information and in a text or a graphic or a sound or a video, that is the informative tool, and we are using ICT in the using ICT in that sense. For example, encyclopedia or YouTube videos that are available, you can apply the same, use the same videos, and with your students. Or Wikipedia, for example, you can share that with your students. Another tool is communicative tool, which is system that allows easy communication between teachers and students, or between students outside the physical barrier classroom. So there are many tools, or devices or platforms that are available where students can have a communication. You can communicate with your students, and your students can communicate with you easily. For example, on emails and WhatsApp chats and telephonic calls, which we all did during this time, traditional time. Sorry, when we were in online teaching during the pandemic. Then there is a collaborative tool, which means that tools that make online collaborative projects and distributed group work easier. So when we were teaching through Zoom, Google Meet, online documents, and so that made our work a little easier. We could provide students group works, and students could meet on Zoom or any other platform, Google Meet, for example, and do the collaborative or the work assigned to them. So this is how you can use ICT in education. And now so now teachers, it's time for the day one task. So I would request Munazza to tell us the details of the task, and I would request teachers to participate in this day one task.
Right, Akriti. So we are now coming to the end of our training of today. So today's task, we will now be talking about the today's task. The deadline of the task is 11 p.m. tonight. So you have to complete that task before 11 p.m. Uh, I'll share the details of the task now. So the first step of the task is to sign up on Gurushala. So you have to simply go to www.gurushala.co, and you will see that the website has opened. The second step is to click on Parat. Now Parat is the personal analysis and reflection of attitude by teachers test. It is an assessment that the teachers can take to know more about their characteristics, their traits as a teacher, and it would be helpful for them in teaching the students. The third step is to attempt the Parat test and know their teaching traits, and then they have to share the screenshot of the test on the teacher community by the name of Teachers of Telangana in Gurushala. So we will now go back to Gurushala and see a demo. So Akriti, please take the teachers to the Gurushala platform where the teachers can see a demo of all the steps.
Yes, Nazar. So I have shared my screen. I hope it is visible to all the teachers.
Yes, Akriti, it is visible.
Okay. So teachers, as I informed you earlier as well, of course you have to visit Gurushala, and then after you have visited on Gurushala, make sure that you have done the sign in sign up process. So I'll again do the same for you. I have clicked on the sign in sign up part, and I've logged in through the Gmail or Google. So after that, we'll visit the Parat. So to visit the Parat and Parat, all we have to do is visit the Gurushala website and scroll down a little bit, and you can see here on the bottom there is Parat, which is personal analysis and reflection of attitude by teachers. This is a test that you can take to know your key teaching qualities and characteristics, as Manasa also informed, that impacts your everyday decision in your classroom. So I'll click on it, and you can see the Parat page has opened. So to take the test, there are few information that is provided to you why you need to take this test, and what all the traits does a teacher have. So there are different traits that we'll talk about now. So a teacher has various traits like parental trait, enthusiastic trait, creative trait, and a teacher can be a subject expert. These are some of the traits that we have as a teacher. So now let's talk about the how you can take the Parat test to know your personality traits, and teaching traits. To take the test, all you have to do is click on this take a test option. Once you have done, you can see there are three instructions that you are given. First is you have to attempt all the question and be honest as possible, even if you don't like the answer. Second step is you have to be truthful to yourself. You don't have to pick an answer because you think that it is right, but you're not doing it. You have to choose the answer that you apply in your classroom, or you use while teaching in classrooms. Third is you have to choose the option wisely. So each question has a degree of responses. You can either disagree or agree with them. So now let's see what all these questions are. So you can see, as you can see on my screen, there are many questions that you will be given. So first question is, I develop a personal relationship with students in class. If you agree with this, you have to click here. If you don't agree, if you totally disagree with it, you have to click on the disagree part. If you think, you somewhat make personal relationships, if you somewhat does not, if you don't make personal relationship with students, you have to click on this. Similarly, there are many other degrees of questions of the answers that they are available, so you can click on them accordingly. So make sure that you are answering all the questions. The second question is, if a student frequently does not complete his or her homework, I'll tell another students to support the child. If you apply this strategy in your classroom and you agree with it, so you have to click on it. If you don't do this, you disagree with this strategy, and you believe you need to use some other strategy, or you are already using some other strategy, then you click on the disagree part. Similarly, all you have to do is you have to fill in all these questions that are available. After that, you have to click on the submit button, and in the end, there is a result will be given to you, and the percentage of the your traits will be provided to you. All you have to do is you have to take a screenshot of the same and post it on the communities section on Gurushala. So now let's visit the community section Gurushala. So to visit the community section on Gurushala, you have to click on the explore part. Once you have done that, you have to find the community part on it. Once you have done that, you'll visit the community section on Gurushala. You can see there are various different communities available on Gurushala. All you have to do is visit the teacher community part, and you have to click on view all. Now you can see there are various different communities available according to the state and different categories. So since we have told you to post it on Teachers of Telangana, all you have to do is click on the join part. You can see once you have joined, it will take some time to load. Once that is done, you will be able to enter the community. So let's wait a little bit till it's load and you're able to join the community. So all you have to do is you have to take the PARAT test and take the screenshot of same, and you have to post it in this Teachers of Telangana community. To post it, you have to just click on create a post section on Gurushala. After that, you have to make sure that you're sharing your name with us, your school name with us, school name, state with us, and also the class that you are teaching in. Once that is done, you have to click on attach file option. After that, you have to click on it and attach the file that you want to share, and then click on the done option. Then you will be able to see that your image that you have posted on in the community as well. As you can see, many teachers have already posted some of the content here on in Teachers of Telangana. So similarly, you have to do the same. So this was the demonstration of the task that you have to, share with us by tonight. So I request all the teachers, to visit Gurushala today and complete the Parat test. And the link of the same is already shared with you in the chat section. So let's conclude this training.
Right, Akriti. So, as Akriti has explained the whole task to all the teachers, I request you all to please complete it by 11 p.m. tonight, before the training starts tomorrow. Tomorrow we will meet again for the second day of the training. And please, I would just like to re-emphasize that you will receive a certificate of participation by filling the attendance form. So, a link of the attendance form will be shared with you by the end of tomorrow's training. And once you fill the attendance form, you will receive a certificate of participation in 7 to 10 working days on your email ID. Make sure that you write your correct name and your full name in your certificate, in your attendance form, so that you receive the certificate of that same name. Um, Now, I would also like to tell you one more thing, which is an important update, that Gurushala, in collaboration with Vodafone Idea Foundation, will be celebrating International Women's Day on 8th March at 4 p.m. So, we request you all to join us virtually. The links would be provided soon to you, so that you can join us in the celebration of the power of women. So we will make sure. I request you all to please be there with us in the celebration, and listen to some great and powerful women. Um, you can log into gurushala.co to access the content library, to access the course module section, and also different aspects that have been shown today. For any help and assistance, please feel free to email us at info@gurushala.co. Thank you so much to all the teachers for being a part of the training today.
Thank you so much, teachers, for taking part, and I would request you all to stay tuned for more, for the second day of the training. So thank you so much, teachers.
Thank you.